You're listening to Fairfield County Talk Radio, produced by Sharc Creative and made possible by our title sponsor, Tough Lawn Lawn Service and Fairfield County Tick Control. Thank you, Lisa, and to everybody in your team over there. We also want to put a special shout out to our Wilton Little League Platinum sponsors, including Gregory and Adams, Premier Fuel, Cannondale Generators, Lauren Finderack Drilling, Wilton Pediatric Dentistry, and Purple Frog Graphics. We'll hit a few others as we get through this interview. But today, we kick off the spring with another episode of the Sports Report in Fairfield County, where we cover exceptional local sports-related stories, players, and coaches. Today, it's about what goes on behind the scenes in the Little League, specifically the Wilton Little League. We look forward to the fresh smell of spring, baseball's in the air, and soon enough, the Little Leaguers will take the field. Wilton Little League is a community-based organization that brings the diamond sports of baseball and softball to all of us. And with us today, and really for total good measure, we have Christopher Kelly of Council at Cravath, and he's also the Vice President of Baseball at the Wilton Little League. Christopher, great to see you, Coach.
Great to see you too. Thanks for inviting me on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. I've gotten to know you a little bit in the last year or two, but I'm really looking forward to how that relationship will develop as we're both passionate about baseball. And Chris, honestly, you're really a very special person. You've done an awful lot from what I can see already, being that I do live in Wilton and my son is in the league. You have dedicated your time so much so. I mean, I know that you've held clinics for the league and you're just so into it. And that's why we wanted to put a special spotlight on your efforts today and just get right into it about baseball and what's coming. It's a great time of the year, despite everything that's going on in the world. A little baseball does us all some good.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. I know you are. Tell me, how did you get so passionate about baseball?
It's really the first sport that I remember watching and playing. I grew up in Westchester, New York, before my family moved to Florida, and it was really the only sport that I played. I played Little League 35, 40 years ago, all the way up until I was in high school. Then I played a little bit of high school ball as well. But it was just spending time with my family, my dad, working outside of the practices at home, learning how to throw, learning how to hit, just like every other Little League boy and girl does growing up. And it's just become a huge passion for me. I have three kids of my own. My oldest two are in high school, and I have a fourth grader as well. And I started coaching them once we moved to Wilton. I had the opportunity to coach my oldest son's baseball team, and then went on to coach a little bit of softball for my daughter for about 6 years before returning to baseball with my youngest son. And it's every season that I'm out there, it's meeting people, working with the kids, seeing how dedicated people can really be in this community to helping grow, not just the program, but the experience of these boys and girls, just volunteering their time. It's really great to see, and it's what keeps me coming back every season.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's always nice to see people helping others and for a great cause. And there's nothing better than helping our kids, right? Boys and girls who want to play softball and baseball, and you're really right at the tip of the spear when it comes to that. So thank you really for everything that you do. Tell our audience a little bit about the Wilton Little League. What can they expect from the Wilton Little League in our program?
It's a program that I've seen develop. Again, like I said, I started. My oldest son is now a junior in high school, so I started coaching him in Wilton Little League when he was about 4 years old. So I've been in the program for a while, and I've seen a lot of growth in the approach that Wilton Little League takes to how it treats its constituents, right? The kids. It's really become a program that's focused on less on winning, more on development and opportunity for these kids. And that's not to say that it's a program that's looking to give trophies out to everybody who's who's playing. It's a competitive program, one that runs very competitive teams, but it's really made the effort over the last 4 or 5 seasons, I think, to make sure that all of the kids have the same opportunity to make travel teams, have the same opportunity to participate in some of these extra clinics that we're running, just so we could develop, one, the kids' skills, two, their love for the game. It's, as you know, it's not an easy game to play, and a lot of times we lose kids, one, because it's a little bit slower, it's less I guess called athletic, or athletically rigorous, and it's difficult. Hitting a baseball is tough. Throwing a baseball is tough.
Hitting a baseball is one of the toughest things you can do in sports, right?
Absolutely.
Compared to catching a ball or throwing a ball, or, any umpteen different things that you do in all kinds of sports, that literally looking at a baseball and getting that bat around to hit the ball is one of the hardest things you can do. That's why the greatest ball players are batting, 300, 333 or whatever, 7 out of 10 times they're going to miss the ball. I'm not going to hit it.
That's right. And that's discouraging to, that's
Yeah.
discouraging to a 7 or 8 year old. And they're out there
Right.
facing tough competition, and they're unable to do it. They say, why am I doing this? Let me go play a sport that I have more success at. And so what Little League has really strived to do is take the focus off of the success, right? The output, the product of what they're doing, and focus on building the fundamentals that will ultimately, when these kids are in their later years of Little League, and when they move beyond Little League into Babe Ruth, into high school, and in some cases in the college, they have the fundamentals to be successful. And that's really been our focus, and making sure that every kid has the opportunity to participate in those skill building exercises.
And I see you doing this. You ran a clinic right through COVID. You opened it up to the community. I came around a couple of times and was so appreciative of your effort there. But essentially, you gave your time to teach our youngsters how to do the certain things to make them better. And if I'm not mistaken, this is accessible to us, right? Isn't there something that you've put out? Is it on the Little League website, or some ability to sort of drill down on how you can do certain things at each position? Can you talk a little bit more about your clinics and some of the model, I would say, that you've kind of developed for the league?
Sure. And this is all, it's been a collaborative process, and it's something that I started when I was coaching softball, actually. And it came about, these defensive clinics came about when I realized that coaches who all volunteer their time have an hour to 2 hours of practice time, and they can't focus on each specific position and developing fundamentals at each specific position when they have 14 kids on their team that they're trying to coach in all aspects of the game. So I decided to put together what was then a weekly program in the fall to just focus each week on a different defensive position. And the kids, the softball players, really seem to get a lot out of it. So 2 seasons ago, I decided to try it on the baseball side, and it's kind of become its own thing now. We ran it in the fall, like you said, last year. Notwithstanding COVID, we were able to bring out 4 different sessions each weekend, 2 on Saturdays, 2 on Sundays, where we'd have a limited number of kids, and we just focused for basically 2 straight months on developing skills at particular positions. And we're going to be rolling it out starting at the end of March this year as well. I think this is the first time that we're doing it in the spring, so it'll be going on at the same time that our spring rec season is going on. But
I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, they do. And it's like anything else, right? The more you put into it, the more you get out of it. And it's like almost putting money in the bank. Every time you see a youngster get up there and take some more cuts, especially if you're teaching him the right way to do it, it's just going to pay dividends later on, like you mentioned. So by giving him the exposure, it's phenomenal.
Right. And we know that I'm certainly not a baseball expert, but I've worked with a lot of the great volunteers that we have here in Wilton. And like you said, we ended up putting together both a coach's manual as well as notes on each of these defensive positions. All of them are available on Wilton Little League's website for all to see. And I think what we're going to do this spring is try to videotape some of the clinics that we run. So, you have not only the written word, but you also have some visual accompaniment.
Yeah, I
So
think that'd be helpful.
hopefully that will get, I think that'd be great for, especially there are a lot of coaches at the younger levels who are just getting into the program and just providing a little guidance on how to work with the kids in their practices.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, it's a tribute to your efforts and many others in the community that take the time to do this and to do it right. And I'm really excited about the future of our baseball program, because it's got to start somewhere. And the league has had, I've heard a lot of nice things from other communities that have said they know that Wilton Little League has a really good organization, and we keep putting more time into it and making it better. And with that being said, what could we do without the sponsors too, right? We have to make sure that we give them the credit that's due, making phone calls to folks, and they're so willing to pitch in, like Ed's Garage Doors, Rings End, Wilton Kiwanis, Dean Chevy Buick, Orem's Diner, Kimco. These guys have been with the league for a long time, and
for years.
And I certainly appreciate it, as I'm sure you do, and everybody else involved in the Little League. So we're really trying to also step up the sponsor program and give them more value. You see behind me, we've got the little stickers, and these are going to be going to all the kids, so the kids can have some fun, like, trading baseball cards, you're trading logos and things of that nature, for our special friends, really, that are putting their efforts into the league to make it better, because they're the ones that also help with to back us up on some equipment we need, and all the things to make the league stronger. Before we end the interview, Chris, let's talk a little bit about what's coming right up, because I understand there's a really fun trivia night, I believe, that's coming up. Tell us about that inspiration. Who's behind that?
I'm behind it. It actually came out of the seed was planted when I was running the clinics last fall, and as you know, your son was there, and after each clinic I give out a sheet with some notes to help them remember what they learned, and at the very end of the sheet there was a list of whatever position that we were working on. There was a list of some of the great all-time players who played that particular position, and I remember very clearly one of the boys turning the sheet over and saying, who is Lou Gehrig? And I was astonished that anybody would not know who Lou Gehrig was. And so I was doing a lot of thinking, well, how do I improve the knowledge of our community's children about baseball? And then about a month and a half ago, my son's school, my fourth grader's school, held a trivia night, which was just a fundraiser. The topic was basketball. I don't know anything about professional basketball, but it was a lot of fun. And so I said, well, this is a great way for me to try to get out some information about the history of the game, and maybe bring families together and spend an hour and a half having a good time, answering questions, and trying to teach the kids a little bit about the history of the game that they're playing. So that's really where it all came about.
Well, that sounds very exciting. We're looking forward to it. It's a great way for everybody to learn a little bit more, have some fun with it, and really get ready for the baseball season. Spring training's out there. If all goes well, I believe the Wilton Little League takes the field on April 13th, and it's going to be super exciting. I think more than ever, we are really busting at the seams to get back out there on the diamond. Again, we want to also thank Daigle and Travers Insurance, Surfco Oil and Propane, welcome back. Cannondale Animal Clinic, welcome to the league. Land Rover Jaguar of New Rochelle, Gophers Ice Cream, and Wilton Pizza. Check this out. Every Little Leaguer this year will get a free slice of pizza at Wilton Pizza and a free ice cream at Gophers just for joining the league. So we want to thank those guys for that. They're going to take their little sticker or their card. They're going to go in, and they come out with something delicious. So another exciting reason to play baseball and to also learn. So again, I want to remind everybody, you are listening to Fairfield County Talk Radio, which is produced by Sharc Creative and made possible by Tough Lawn Lawn Service and Tick Control, Fairfield County Tick Control. Remember to click and subscribe under YouTube at Sharc Creative, where you can find more locally inspired stories and spotlights on the community, just like this one. And we're going to do a lot more for the Wilton Little League and for many other things that are happening in the community. Chris Kelly, Coach, a pleasure. It's always great to see you. I'm excited about what's coming.
Thank you so much, Andrew, for having me on, and I'll see you on the field.